You were standing at the sink, washing the dishes after dinner. The warm water ran over your hands as you cleaned a plate. Jungkook was standing beside you, drying the dishes with a towel. Neither of you spoke much, but it wasn't awkward. It was quiet and calm. When you finished washing the last plate, Jungkook reached out to take it from you. His fingers brushed against yours for a second, making your heart skip. You quickly pulled your hand back, pretending you didn't feel anything. You should go to bed. I'll finish cleaning up here. His voice was soft but slightly firm. You turned to look at him and shook your head. No, it's okay. Let's clean together. It's faster that way. Jungkook looked at you for a moment then nodded. All right. The two of you worked together quietly. Sometimes you noticed Jungkook sneaking a glance at you, but he didn't say anything. You pretended not to notice even though it made your cheek feel warm. When everything was clean, you smiled at him. See, it's easier when we both help. Jungkook gave a tiny smile. You're stubborn. And you're too nice, you said, going out of the kitchen, surprised by your own remark. A soft smile appeared on Jungkook's face as he hung the cloth and walked behind you. You walked towards your bedroom with Jungkook following behind you. When you reached your door, you turned to face him. Good night, you said softly, holding the doorknob. Good night, Jungkook said back. His voice was quieter now and he didn't move. For a moment you stood there hoping he might say something else, but he didn't. Instead, he just nodded at you. His face looked calm but serious. You went into your room, closing the door behind you. You leaned against the door for a second, your heart feeling heavy. On the other side of the door, Jungkook stood still. He looked at the closed door for a long time, wishing he could say more but not knowing how. It had been 2 months since you married John Jungkook, a man who was kind but hard to understand. Your marriage wasn't filled with fiery passion but with quiet understanding. Jungkook never rushed you or asked for more than you were ready to give. You chose to sleep in a different room because it made you feel more comfortable and he didn't question your choice. His patience and kindness, though surprising, made you feel at ease in your new life with him. But not everyone saw your marriage the same way. Jungkook finally came inside his room, but he didn't feel sleepy. He sat on the edge of his bed, looking at his hands. He thought about you, about how you smiled at him while washing the dishes and how you laughed softly earlier at dinner. He leaned back against his pillow, letting out a sigh. He wanted to get closer to you, but he didn't want to rush you. He had promised himself he would wait until you were ready, but every day it gets harder. Every time he sees you, he wanted to tell you how much he cared about you. But he understands that you need time and he's waiting until you finally get comfortable. In your room, you lay in bed staring at the ceiling. You could still hear Jungkook's soft voice in your head. You thought about how patient he was, how he never rushed you or make you feel uncomfortable. A part of you wanted to go to him to tell him that you were ready to be closer, but you felt nervous, thinking what if things went wrong. With a deep sigh, you pulled the blanket up to your chin. Maybe tomorrow I'll be brave enough. The next day in the evening, you were sitting in the living room flipping through a book Jungkook had gifted you. The doorbell rang. Your stepsister Mira appeared at the door with her signature bright smile. Mira, you didn't call or say you were coming. You asked, surprised. Oh, I had some work nearby, she said casually, stepping inside without waiting for an invitation. I thought I would stop by and see how you are doing. Is Jungkook Oppa home? You hesitated before nodding. Mira had been visiting more often than usual lately, each time finding a reason to stay longer than necessary. Though you try to push aside your suspicions, her lingering glances at Jungkook tells a different story. How's your married life, Ian? Mira asks, settling onto the couch beside you. It's fine, we are adjusting. You replied with a polite smile, though her curiosity made you uneasy. Her eyes scanned the room before her gaze returned to you. Oh, still in separate rooms? Isn't that unusual for newlyweds? Your grip on the book tightened, but before you could respond, Jungkook entered the room, dressed casually, his dark hair slightly messy. He looked as calm as ever. Mira's attitude immediately changed, her smile turning coy as she greeted him. "Pa, it's been a while. How are you?" she said sweetly. Jungkook looked at her. He was a bit surprised by her presence, but he forced a tight smile, not even looking properly at her. "We met 2 days ago, and I am fine." You try to remain calm as you were well aware of her nature and how spoiled she is. "Yes, but 2 days feel like forever without you, and of course, Ryan, I was missing her." Jungkook and you both understood what she was actually trying to say. "We are fine," he said without paying attention to her, but she did not stop. "You must be so tired from work. Ryan is so lucky to have you." Jungkook gave her a brief nod before turning his attention to you. "Do you need anything, Ryan?" You shook your head. "No, I'm fine. Mira just dropped by to chat." His jaw tightened ever so slightly, but he didn't comment further. Mira, however, wasn't done. She leaned forward, trying to draw his attention. "Oppa, you work too hard. You deserve to relax with someone who understands you." Jungkook's eyes darkened as he spoke firmly. "I'm fine, Mira. No need to worry about me." The tension in the room was visible, and Mira's attempt to brush off his words with a laugh only made it worse. He sighed inwardly, realizing her visits were becoming more problematic than helpful. Later that night, Jungkook returned home late from work. You were in your room lying in bed, but sleep wouldn't come. The muffled sound of voices drifted upstairs, making you sit up. Slowly you crept to the staircase, staying hidden as you listened. "What are you doing here this late? Didn't you go to your house?" Did Ryan know? He was surprised to see her still in the house. Jungkook doesn't like her presence at all. "I thought you might want some company. Ryan doesn't exactly keep you entertained, does she?" Her voice was far too innocent. "Mira," he warned her. His patience was clearly thinning. "You deserve better, Uppa. Someone who can be a real wife to you. Someone like me." She was so insistent that she wasn't ready to listen to anything else. Your heart clenched as you listened. You waited for Jungkook to handle the matter by himself because you know she will never listen to you. She never did, and that's the reason Jungkook's parents wanted him to marry you, because they disliked Mira at the first glance. "Mira, enough." Jungkook's tone was sharp now. "Ryan is my wife. What we share is none of your business, and I don't need or want your opinions. So don't you dare to say anything about her, and I don't want to see you in this house either. Leave." "But Oppa," I said, "leave," he commanded, his voice cold and final. Mira walked in the guest room as she was staying here tonight while Jungkook walked upstairs. He was too angry with what just happened. He never liked her but never said anything because he thought you'll be upset if he says anything about your sister. You hurried back to your room, your heart pounding as his words replayed in your mind. Despite Mira's intentions, Jungkook had stood firmly by your side. The morning sunlight spilled into the living room, casting long shadows across the walls. You sat on the couch, lost in thought, replaying the events of the previous night. Mira's words echoed in your mind, and you couldn't shake the frustration and disbelief that came with them. You knew she wouldn't stop unless you confront her. Your thoughts were interrupted by a knock on the glass door. A glance through as you saw her standing near the doorframe, adjusting her handbag with an air of casualness that only fueled your annoyance. She always acts so carefree. "I'm leaving. Guess what? I don't think you like my presence in your house." Your jaw clenched, but you stayed calm and stood up before walking towards her. "Mira, we need to talk," you said firmly, crossing your arms. Her smile faded for a fraction of a second before she tilted her head, pretending not to understand. "What is it, Ryan? Did something happen?" You stepped closer, your voice was cold and direct. "I heard what you said to Jungkook last night." At that, Mira's mask slipped entirely. Her expression hardened, and a smirk replaced her fake innocence. "Oh, so now you hear what people are talking secretly." she said, leaning casually against the doorframe. Your hands clenched at your sides, but you forced yourself to stay composed. How dare you to try to interfere in my marriage? She looked at you surprised for a minute because you never sounded so cold and strict. The sudden raise in your voice really left her shocked, but then she shrugged her shoulders, looking completely unbothered and unapologetic. I'm only saying what everyone else is thinking. You and Jungkook are clearly not a real couple. Separate rooms, no affections. Face it, Ryan, you are just holding him back. He needs someone who can give him what he deserves. Your jaw tightened, anger boiling just beneath the surface. You don't know anything about my relationship with Jungkook. He chose me, Mira, not you, and no matter what you think, I trust him. Mira scoffed, folding her arms. Trust him all you want, but that doesn't change the fact that he deserves better. Do you even know what he's like at work? How women throw themselves at him, and yet here you are, clinging to your so-called marriage like it's anything more than an agreement. Who told you that it is an agreement, huh? And it's our matter. We would decide if we sleep together or in different rooms. You are no one to point out, and you shouldn't. Stay in your limits, okay? Mira scoffed. The nervousness was clearly visible on her face. Oh wow, is that the reason? Or you are just insecure that he would never give a damn about you, huh? He won't find you attractive. Before you could respond, a familiar voice cut through the tension. Mira. You turned to see Jungkook standing in the hallway, his hands tucked into the pockets of his slacks. His expression was unreadable, but the sharpness in his voice was unmistakable. Mira straightened up, a flicker of a nervousness crossed her face. Oppa, I was just... You were just leaving. Jungkook interrupted, his voice icy. He stepped closer, his gaze fixed on her. You have crossed a line, Mira. Wayan is my wife, and our relationship is none of your concern. If you can't respect that, then don't come back. Mira's confidence faltered under his intense stare, but she managed a weak laugh, trying to save face. I was just looking out for you, Oppa. You deserve... I don't need you to look out for me. What I deserve is a partner who respects me and my choices. Wayan is that person. Now leave, he said curtly, standing beside you. Mira hesitated, her gaze flickered between you and Jungkook, realizing she had no ground to stand on. She huffed and turned on her heel, striding down the driveway without another word. As the door clicked shut behind her, the tension in the room seemed to dissipate. Jungkook let out a quiet sigh, turning to face you. You bit your lower lip, feeling embarrassed for what just happened. I'm sorry you had to deal with that. He shook his head, holding your shoulders gently. You don't need to apologize for anything. It's not your fault. You slowly looked at him. But Jungkook, what she said doesn't matter. He interrupted, stepping closer to you. His voice was firm yet gentle. What people think doesn't matter. What matters is us, Wayan. I mean it when I said I would wait for you. Don't let anyone make you doubt that. You felt a lump in your throat as his words sank in. For all his coldness, Jungkook had a way of making you feel secure in moments like this. But do you think we are giving people the wrong idea about us? Jungkook hesitated but soon reassured you. What people think doesn't matter. What matters is us. I told you I would wait for you, and I mean it. You looked at him, tears threatening to spill. Jungkook, I think I'm ready now to move forward, to share a room, to share us. As the words left your lips, you saw Jungkook freeze for a moment. His eyes widened slightly. He looked at you with such intensity that you felt a little vulnerable, but there was also a flicker of hope in his expression, like he was trying to convince himself he had heard you right. Wayan, he said softly, taking another step closer until there was barely any space between you. Do you mean that? Are you sure you are ready for this? You nodded, your voice shaky but sincere. I am Jungkook. I've been holding myself back because I was afraid that I would lose myself, afraid that we would end up hurting each other. But you have been so patient, so understanding, and last night, when Mira said all those things, I realized something. His brows furrowed, concern flashing across his face. What did you realize? You took a deep breath, your heart pounding in your chest. I realized that I have been too focused on what other people think, too scared of making a mistake. But when she tried to question us, you didn't hesitate to defend me, to defend us. And I realized that I want this. I want us, Jungkook. The air between you seemed to still as your confession hung in the silence. Jungkook reached out, his fingers brushing against yours. It was a simple touch, but it sent a wave of warmth through you. I have waited for you, Ryan, and I would have waited as long as you needed, but hearing you say that, it means everything to me. You have no idea how much. His voice was steady but thick with emotions. You smiled through the tears that now streamed down your cheeks. I think I do, Jungkook, because I feel the same way. I want to be with you, not just in name, but in every way. His lips parted as if he wanted to say something, but instead he cupped your face gently in his hands. His thumbs wiped away your tears, and his gaze softened in a way you had never seen before. I don't care how long it's taken us to get here. What matters is that we are here now, together. Your heart swelled as he leaned down, his forehead resting against yours. I love you, Ryan. I have loved you from the moment I saw you, and that love has only grown stronger every day. I will do everything I can to make you happy. Tears welled up in your eyes again, but this time they were tears of joy. I love you too, Jungkook. I think I have loved you for a while, but I was too afraid to admit it, but not anymore. I'm ready to move forward with you. A radiant smile broke across his face, one that made your knees weak. He pulled you into his arms, holding you close as if he never wanted to let go. You have just made me the happiest man alive, Ryan. You pulled back slightly to look at him, your hands resting on his chest. Does this mean we can finally share a room? No more pretending we are strangers in our own house. Jungkook chuckled, a sound that was deep and genuine. Absolutely. In fact, he said, taking your hand and leading you towards the hallway. Why don't we start now? Let's move your things into our room. I want to wake up next to you every morning. Your heart fluttered as you followed him, your fingers intertwining with his. Our room, you repeated, liking the way it sounded. As the two of you began moving your belongings, laughter and light-hearted banter filled the house. Jungkook teased you about the number of books you owned, and you playfully called him out for hoarding workout equipments. But amidst the joking and organizing, there were tender moments where he would pause, pull you into his arms, and remind you how much you meant to him.